Let's dive a little deeper with NBC's Chuck Todd. He, of course, is moderator of Meet the Press. Chuck, good morning. Good to see you. So finally, after what it's been 10 days or so, NBC News has called Arizona for Joe Biden, bumping him to 290 electoral votes. Georgia is still under a recount. Most people think that'll go in his category and get him up to 306. So as you look at that map we have up right now, Chuck, what's the story of this election?
Well, look, I think this is the first, this is a picture of your first battleground map of where we're headed over the next couple of election cycles. And, you know, we had the Rust Belt versus the Sun Belt and what was going to decide this election. And right now it's pretty clear while technically Joe Biden could still win this without winning those Sun Belt states. You see, that is the future battleground of American politics, Georgia and Arizona. And in fact, what's interesting, the three closest states 4 years ago were Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania. The three closest states this time are Arizona, Georgia, and Pennsylvania, right? You throw those in there and actually, you know. So I think when you look at that in the future, we'll probably see that the decisive 270 electoral votes are now going to come from the Sun Belt. It didn't this time, but you see what our future holds.
Yeah, and Democrats will have their eyes on Texas down the road as well, coming closer than they have in years. Chuck, so the Department of Homeland Security just came out with a statement yesterday calling this the most secure election in American history. The president and his team continue to fight in court without much success. He's tweeting out conspiracy theories yesterday. What does he have to hang on to at this point? Do you see anything getting traction for him as he fights what is the inevitable that Joe Biden is president-elect?
Right now, there is nothing tangible that he has. There's nothing tangible that his campaign or legal team has put forward. All he has left are some sort of technical asks he can make because the margins are close enough. So he can get a recount in Georgia. He can get a recount in Wisconsin. He can likely get a recount in Arizona. He can do those things. But the problem he's got is one of the states he has to find a way to win in this is Pennsylvania. And that's where he's got the largest deficit of what he's trying to overcome, number one. And number two, there's just no there. I mean, when his own Homeland Security Department rebukes these conspiracy theories as thoroughly as they did yesterday and as forcefully as they did, I think it's pretty clear that the president himself, they've yet to produce an ounce of evidence to support any of their baseless claims.
Our NBC News White House team, Chuck, says that the president is talking at least now about a potential run in 2024. You can only have two terms, but they don't have to be consecutive. So, of course, he could run in 2024. No. Do you see that happening?
Look, I think the president is going to make it clear that he is likely to be a candidate in 2024. I think this is his way of trying to be the president in exile, if you will, I think is how he'll probably try to formulate this. That doesn't mean he's going to run. But what it would do is certainly freeze the party. I mean, I think what we've all learned already in this first 10 days after the election, this is still Donald Trump's party. And the best way for him to keep a grip on this party is to essentially be the nominee in waiting. And so by being a former president announcing his intention to run again, he will be, and it would freeze the field for at least a while and continue to make him the de facto leader of the opposition.